Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of Herodotos, and I'm reading book 1, and I got up to chapter 88, or section 88. Homentauta elege. So at this stage, the Kroisos is called upon the god, who then caused it to rain, and he's about to be brought down from the pyre. So he then was saying these things, but Cyrus, Lusas, having released him, Cat Ace is an heiress from Cathidzo. So you get the loss of the aspirate here. The cath in Cathizdo becomes a cat, and in this dialect, so it simply means it to make him to sit. So Cyrus, having released him, he sat him down near himself, and he was, now this is, rather he held him very much, or greatly, in much Promethea. We get the name Prometheus, of course, from this. It means forethought, or perhaps consideration or respect. So he held him very much in high respect, and seeing him, he was amazed, from Thaumasdo. It's Thaumasdo in Attic. The alpha iota becomes an omega in this dialect. So he was amazed, seeing him, both he himself and all the ones being around him. So both he and all, that is Cyrus and all his entourage, were amazed when they looked at him, the Kroisos. Hode son noie ekomenos hezukos. So, but he, this is now referring to Kroisos, being held son noi dative, being held in thought, ain, he was hezukos, so he remained silent. Metade epistrophes. Now here we're getting this adverbial use of the meta, so it's like but afterwards. Having turned and having looked at, now the tous, it's the Persians, and I've got a participle down here, kera idzontas, destroying. So, having seen the Persians who were destroying the city of the Lydians, Ape, he said. This word here means destroying, but it's more ravaging. It's pulling it to pieces. It's a very strong word. O Basileus, O king. Now we get koteron for poteron in Attic. So poteron A, and then we have a cray right at the end of the sentence. It's a question, so it's accusative and infinitive. So is it necessary, understand for me, legain, to speak to you, ta, the things which tunkano no eon, which I happen to be thinking. So is it, so ought I then to speak to you the things which I am thinking, or ought I, Sigan, to be silent in this present situation, or perhaps at the present? This is from Parami. So in the present situation. Kuros de min thasionta, but Cyrus bid him, taking courage, participle here, to speak hoti whatsoever vuloito he might wish. Optative here. So Cyrus bid him to take courage and to speak whatever he wanted. Hoti auton erota legon. And he, speaking, he asked him, this is Kroisos asked Cyrus, Hutos hopolos homilos titauta polespude ergazdatai. So it's a question. So this polos, well, it's almost huge. This large homilos really is a crowd or multitude. Now it's singular here, and that means the verbs that this may refer back to, this is, as the subject, will be in the singular, so keep that in mind. So this huge crowd, why, ergastatai, are they doing or working at touter these things with much zeal, or perhaps haste or zeal? Hode ape, and he, that is Cyrus, said, Polin te tain sein dihapasde, kai kremata ta diaphthoreae. So it's singular verbs here because it's agreeing back with this this collective noun homilos, the crowd, so the mob almost. So we would say they in English, but the Greek, of course, is the singular. So this is from diharpasdo, to pillage, so that, or ravage. They are pillaging your city. So both they're doing that, and diaphoreae, they're carrying away your money, kremata. Kroisos de amebata, but Kroisos answered. And again, we're getting singular verb here. Neither are they ravaging my city, nor my money. So perhaps pillaging for this. So they're neither pillaging my city nor my money. And we get explanatory gar, uden gar, emoi eti two-tone meta. And notice the accent on meta because it's going with the word before it. So for understand, there is nothing for me still after these things. So after what has happened, I have nothing. Alaferu si tekai agu si tasa, but they are carrying off and they're leading away tasa, your possessions. And that's the end of chapter 88, and we'll go on to 89. Kuro de epimeles ageneto ta Kroisos ape. So the things which Kroisos said became epimeles, well, a thing of concern, a matter of concern, kuro for Cyrus. There are different translations of this. It seems to me perfectly straightforward, but anyway, so the things which Cyrus said became a thing of concern to Cyrus. Metas de saminos detus alus erita kroison hoti hoi enoi oie entoisi poi menoisi. So this is Kroisos now. Sorry, this is Cyrus. Cyrus having well, transferred, so sent away, it's methistemi, to cause to stand in a different place. So, having dismissed the others, he, this is Cyrus, asked Kroisos whatsoever thing, en horoie, this is an optative from en horao, so it's whatsoever thing, literally, he might see in the things being done. And then we get the hoi, which is probably a dative of disadvantage here, so perhaps against him, that is, against Cyrus. Slightly vague here, sometimes happens, so this is just en horao. So he asked Kroisos what thing, perhaps almost what bad thing he saw, what thing he saw in the things that were being done that were to Cyrus's disadvantage. Hodiepe, and he said, Epeta metheo dokandulon soi dikaio, eti en horo pleon, semainen soi. Epete, so since, it's just epe plus te, so since the gods, notice this is enclitic, which is why, sorry, no, this one is enclitic, but the accent can't go on here because there's already one there. So since the gods gave me as a doulos, as a slave soy to you, dikaio, I think it right, I think it just, to point it out to you if I see anything pleon, well, it's just more, if I see anything more perhaps than others do. So if I have any insight, is really what it's saying. So since the gods have made me into your slave, I think it right that if I have any insight, that I should indicate it to you. Persai fusin iontas hubristai asi akramatoi. Well, this is a rather brave thing to say to your new boss, but so the Persians, being by nature, in respect of their nature, so internal accusative here, they are insolent. So because they're insolent, they are akramatoi. They haven't got any money, they're poor. Well, a strange thing to say, because Persia was a wealthy place. Ain, own, now this is own for un. So you might just note that it's quite common in Herodotos, own for un. So if, therefore, you, periides is to overlook. It's quite a common verb in Greek from horao. So if you overlook these men, diha passantes, who having pillaged and having taken for themselves, and so, well, it's actually hanging on to, having pillaged and hanging on to great amounts of money, tardi toi ex auton epidoxogenestai. Now I've forgotten what it was. So these things are likely to be epidoxos is likely, reasonably likely. It's not a common word in Greek, but it's used mainly in Herodotus, in fact. So these are likely to take. These things are likely to take place, to happen, and then I think we had ex auton, at their hands. So by them. Hosan, so whoever, kat aske, well, perhaps holds or has control, so whoever among them has control of the most amount, understand, of money, Teuton pros dekesthai toi ep anaste somenon. Yep, so this is, so expect, so understand it is necessary for you to expect this man, indeed, or perhaps it could be for soy, being about to revolt against you. Well, soy for toy for soy after the epi. This is from an histemi, to rise up against you. So whoever might have the most money, this is probably infinitive for imperative. So expect this man, and it's a future here, to be about to rise up against you. Future participle here. Nun own, there's that own again for un. Now therefore, poiesen do, hodi the following. If the things which I say to you, areske, are pleasing, neuter plural singular verb. So if the things which I'm saying are pleasing to you. Kathison, katison, this again is from kathhisdo. You get deaspiration in this dialect, so the kath becomes back to kata again, and this is from hisdo, to sit, or station, cause to sit. This is an imperative here. So, so station guards, then tone doraphoron. Now, a doraphoros is someone who carries a Doru, well, perhaps either a club or perhaps a sword. It simply means the bodyguards. So station guards from your bodyguards at all the gates who... Now, legontone here is in a third person plural imperative present. Third person plural imperative. So they, and then the hoi, I think, goes with this participle. They, taking up the money, let them say to those bringing it out, hos that, and now we get eke plus an adverb, so it is necessary, eke anankaios, so that it is necessary, svea for svus, I think, oh, sorry, for sveas, them, that is necessary for them, dekatuthenai, well, it's to pay a tithe, well, it's this money, for the money to be, it's passive here, isn't it, to be paid as a tithe to Zeus. So just doing that bit again. So station guards from your bodyguard at all the gates, they who, taking up the money, let them say, so they, as they're taking away the money from ap hyrio, let them say to those who are carrying it out that it is necessary for the money to be given as a tithe to Zeus. The sphere is a little bit tricky here. So, well, it is necessary for them, or in respect of them, perhaps for the money to be paid as a tithe to Zeus. And kai su, and you, now we get a te and we'll get a kai. So you will not be hated. This is from ap ek. I'm not sure what the verb this is from, but it's to become ekthos, to be hated. So you will not be hated by them, taking away by force, bia, the money, and they, understanding that you, to do understand these things justly, that you acting justly, willingly, pro iesusi, this is from pro hiemi, they will release it willingly. Well, it's not quite clear that that's going to be a true statement, but that's the advice given by Kroisos.